Hi folks, and welcome back to Fishing with Den. So I've been fishing with a Waggler today, and I actually got snagged up earlier on and lost some tackle. And it occurred to me that you might not know how best to sort that situation out. Now obviously, if you've only lost the hook length and you're using an actual hook length, hook to nylon, you just loop a new one on because they're the same size. But if you're using a eyed hook and you've got to tie that on, that means that your rig's going to be a bit shorter, so you're not actually at the same depth as you were before. And worst of all, what happens if you've lost the whole rig? Then how do you know what depth to go back at? Of course you can plumb it again, which sort of creates disturbance in the swim, costs you time and effort, but there is an easier way. And all you do is, when you start and you've got everything plumbed up and you're happy with the depth, just put your hook in the hook keeper here, or if you're necessary, if you haven't got one of those, you can put it into the first ring. Normally they have one of these hook keepers though. So the hook keeper's there. Just count the rings. 1, 2, 3. But you count the rings to the top of the float, not the bottom of the float. So that's 4 rings, and probably, I can get this in without putting it in the water, probably about 2/3 of the next ring. Now of course that's a fair enough way to do it, because all you've got to do is remember 4 2/3 rings and you can set up back at that. But what if you want to be really accurate? Well, that again is fairly simple, and here's the answer. You just take some white tape, in my case white. You may not use white, you may want to use black, depends on whether you want to see the tape or not. Break off a small amount, and as I say, put it on the rod so that the very tip of the float is at the tape itself, like that. Should be able to see that fine. The reason we put it at the tip of the float rather than the base of the float is that you may change the float. It could be a longer or a shorter float, and that would mean that your rod, or sorry, your rig was at a different depth. So always go to the tip of the float and mark it there. When you finish, you can take that off and you'll be ready for the next time. So that's it, another quick tip from Den. Hope you found it useful. If you did, as always, click the like button. If you want to subscribe, you can. And until the next time, bye for now.